All right, so here is the gear loadout I'm gonna take for the Illinois trip. I'm flying up Thursday and then busting down from Chicago, and then we're driving down to Southern Illinois. The complication with this is I have to get everything into the bag so that I can fly with it. I'm gonna take the Teton. That's worked out for me very well. This is the obvious choice for the bag. It's like a 58 liter. It's a pretty popular bag. I've loved it since I got it. And a lot of stuff fits in there. But there's a few things I can't take in this bag. So I'm gonna have my backpack with me only for the plane ride. And that'll be camera stuff and lithium batteries and things like that. So I'll go over that first. The only other thing I can note is I did mail my hiking boots to Illinois already. They're insulated and stuff. It's hot here. I don't want to wear them on the plane, and I don't have room for them in the bag. So the trip is gonna be, I'll be there Thursday afternoon. We'll be in the area we're going to Thursday evening. So we're gonna hike out at night. My buddies already went and scouted a little area, so we're gonna hike out and set up a temporary camp. And then Friday morning, we're gonna hike to a more permanent location. And then Friday afternoon's when the rain's supposed to start. So we're gonna just make a quick base camp Thursday night. We're gonna have Friday and Saturday completely there. And then Sunday, we have to be back on the road by 9 a.m. Central Time. So it'll be sooner than that. So it's wake up and hike out. So we're gonna get 2 full days out in the woods. And I think this will be like probably the biggest trip that I've taken in quite some time. So here's what I'm taking for the camera. This whole setup is all batteries, camera equipment. I have a small tripod. I just got a new camera in, so this is like a kind of selfie stick. I've got one regular cell phone battery, and then I've got 2 battery banks. They'll charge a cell phone about 3 to 4 times depending on the phone. So I have 2 of these. All this has to charge my cameras and my cell phones for the whole time. So that's 2 of these, and then a cable for the phones. And then in here I have the new camera. So there's the cord that goes with the charging cable, and then it's a little action style camera and a couple SD cards that go with it. So this is my new camera. It's from the same company that Queso, that I bought the gloves and hat from so far. And then this whole bag is camera accessories. So there's like a waterproof container, there's a chest strap, there's a head strap, there's a remote control, so I can start and stop videos and maybe get some pictures while I'm videoing. So this is all camera equipment, and it has to go in my backpack to fly, but then I have to put it in my pack to hike out. But I can't fly with all that because the batteries and the electrical equipment and stuff. Then I have both of my phones. So the phone that I'm recording with now, and then my completely shattered Android phone that I got like a 200 gig SD card for. So there's plenty of filming space, provided I can keep everything charged up. So that's it for the camera equipment. Okay, so this duffel bag I'm not taking. It's just storing the stuff in here. I'm trying to keep the stuff all laid out in a good way. So kind of organized. So this is an organizational tool for me. So I have some wool gloves that are mitten as well. And I like the fact that I can get these wet. The other ones are waterproof, but waterproof stuff, once it gets wet, doesn't ever dry. So I know these will work and they'll keep me warm. Then I have this. I've just been dying to wear this, and I haven't yet. I'll show you why. I just look fucking great in this hat. Then I have a regular beanie. I can use this for, lighter occasions or when I'm sleeping or anything like that. I have the gloves I'm planning on using the wool gloves for like when I'm working, or I know I'm going to be getting my hands maybe wet, and these probably back up to keep me warmed up. I use these on Montana. They're very good, very warm. I have 2 pairs of the wool socks. These are in addition to my regular socks. And then I have a buff A buff is kind of just like a tube, and you can wear it different ways. So if you wanted, for instance, you want just a neck warmer, you can wear it like this. If you wanted partial face, you can do like that. And then there's ways you can wear it as if it were like a beanie. You know, it's just a pretty versatile piece of equipment. I have one of those things I can't pronounce, a baklava, but it's not in this bag right now, so I still need to dig that up. But it's also lightweight like this, so it's not going to take up any space. So that's it for like the extra warming gear. The only other thing I have is I'm going to show with the clothes that I'm taking with me, and that's my underlayer, which I don't wear very often because I sweat profusely whenever I'm moving. So I only put those on when I know I'm going to be cold for a duration and not working, like when I'm sleeping. Next up is going to be my clothes. I have a belt and pants. These I'm going to wear out. So I'll have one set of this on me. I have 3 changes of socks. These are all going to be spare. As socks will, you always need socks, so I'm not skimping on those. They're small anyway. Of course, got the underwear. And I have 3 heavy shirts. Well, heavy, they're like cotton. They don't sell the same kind of shirts in here in Florida as they do in like the Midwest. These are what I would call the Midwest shirts. They're like, you know, thicker cotton kind of stuff. You wouldn't wear those down here because, I mean, you would die. But you'd just be hot. And then I have a tank top. So I have the sun's out, guns out tank top. Of course, it's not ever going to see the light. When I'll wear this under one of the heavy shirts if I get colder but not cold enough to put on the underlayer, or if I'm cold but I'm working, because I'll be okay to sweat in this and dry it out later. So that's a backup. This is my thermal layer. It's lighter weight. It's like a kind of a soft inside, almost a fleece line, and a little bit stretchy, but it's also quick dry. A lot of the stuff I have dries super fast. Camping pants dry fast when you can get them wet. Those pants are really hard to get wet, and once you get them wet, they'll dry pretty quick. I burnt my last pair by putting them by the fire because I just didn't know that. And then I have a pair of just regular Wrangler outdoor pants. So that's going to be like my backup pants if I do need to dry the other ones, or if I feel like changing. Or maybe if I know I'm going to get wet and I don't want to get those other ones wet, I'll wear these instead. So that's all the clothes that I'm taking. I typically have one more set than a normal person would take, just because the amount that I sweat. And we're going to be building stuff hopefully and working, and I know I'm going to sweat. So that's the clothes that I'm taking. Okay, I'll go over this in like no particular order. In the top here I have my different lighting. This one is it's just really funny. It's shaped like a light, and it gets pretty bright. I like to use this in the tent. Is really the only time it's good for. I have a small spotlight also for kind of rummaging around. And then this is one of the best things I've found so far, and it's a small pen light, but it's pretty bright. I've even hiked with it before. It's a great light source to have. And then of course I have it's a 3-phase low, high, and then it'll have a blinking, and that's a headband. I can wear that when I'm out. Then I have my fire kit, which I did a previous video on. If you care what all is in this fire kit, go ahead and watch that video. And then inside I've just stuffed it plumb full with jute twine. So that's the first part of my fire. The other part is I have a very large fire steel, and it's wrapped with Gorilla Tape at the bottom. And just in case I don't have one, I have a striker with that. This isn't going to be in the same stack. It'll be somewhere else, but it's a spare fire steel. It's pretty small. And then of course I have the antenna for blowing air. So that's my fire setup. Aside from that, a backup fire setup. This is also stuffed with jute twine, but it's a fire kit that I bought from Ian from the Bushcraft group. It's got a striker, flint and steel in there, and some char cloth. So this is like a backup or secondary fire kit. Sometimes it makes sense because that char cloth will, once you catch it, it'll keep that ember until it burns all the way through. Like, it's pretty hard to put it out. So that's a decent backup kit. Move right to just a small 1 to 2 person first aid kit. I'm not going to go through all of what's in here, but I do keep my contacts for the trip in there. So So those are in there, and then I have tick tweezers we won't have to worry about because it's winter. But I also have storm-proof matches, and then I have my lighter. It's also wrapped with Gorilla Tape, and I took the safety off. So there's 2 backup fire systems in there. The fire's kind of going to be important for where we're at, but I was so bad at fire for such a long time that I just have redundancies now, and I am not above using a lighter. Along the same lines with the safety, I just have a regular old compass. So it's got the reflector, and then you can shoot your distance in there. This is optional. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to take it, but it's just a small ground sheet, and I can use it to kneel on, or I can put it down on the ground if I want. It's not quite as big as I am. And then I have the Frog Tog poncho. This is the one Mel was wearing in our was it Tucker Hill hike, I think. But this can also like double as a shelter if I need it to. Then we'll move on to the food. I just have my regular cook set and spork, bushcraft grill, and then my folding knife I use for the food. My food I'm gonna get when I land, because like I'm dealing with space here. I can't have anything outside of my bag. We're only gonna get a couple of Mountain House for backups and stuff, and then we're gonna take real food because it's cold and like there's no real predators in Illinois, which is kind of cool. Along with the food, I have Irish breakfast tea. There's a little stack of those in there. And then plenty of coffee, just in case. And then I guess this would be kind of considered food. This is my fishing kit. We are going to get temporary fishing license. We will be by water. There's plenty of tackle in there, not so much fishing line around it. It was an old garlic shaker. And I rinsed it a bunch, and like there's just a surprising amount of tackle fits in there. Then a couple scent-proof bags, but these should really go either with the electronics or with my I don't know, vanity items. I have 2 different type of phones, so these are 2 different plug-in kind of headphones. And then I have a spare folding knife, just utilitarian. And then this goes with my fishing kit. It's a very, very small multi-tool. Then all my paracord. I have a lot of paracord. This one's not in the bag because it goes in the top of my hiking pack for quick deploy. Then I have all this stuff would be more for like building. There's tarred bank line in here, what I have left. And then just several different various paracord things. And then as we move over, this isn't going to stay in this bag either. It's just my Sawyer filter, the backflush plunge, and then a 2-liter water bag. So this will be my first time with the Seanock water bag. It's very popular in the bushcraft group. I've seen people use it, and it's great for extra water. Now this is a backup knife, so it's going to be in with my medical bag. But I have my Fiskars, my folding saw, which is still going good and strong with the first blade, and then my knife that I carry on my side. So that's like wood processing. Then with the vanity items, I have some sanitizer. I've got a disposable travel toothbrush, got the Bum Bum wipes, deodorant. This is kind of essential. Like I really can't be out without it. I'll come back with dreadlocks. And then the scooper, this is for either digging roots, which I don't think we'll be doing a lot of in Illinois, or possibly digging a latrine hole, but it might be the ground's too solid for this, so I don't know. So that's it for like the basic fire, processing, food, everything like that, lighting. So this is the core piece. This is my Big Agnes bag. I think it's like 15 degrees. It looks really big now, but you'd be surprised what small space you can stick that in. And this has kept me through wet and snow and rain in the mountains. So I really trust this bag, and I know it'll keep me warm with my thermals. And even when it gets wet, it's still going to keep you warm. So this is the climate insulated. It's one of the V bags, a static V. So you have to blow it up manually, but it's pretty comfy, and it keeps you from getting that heat loss through the ground. So these 2 things I've slept on top of just on a tarp sheet in a shelter. So I'm very, very confident with those things. Because it's such a cold weather trip and I don't know what's going to happen, I don't think I'll need a liner because it's not going to get that cold, but I may want to walk around camp with it. I'm going to try to fit my regular quilt in that bag. You may have seen the Wild Venture quilt in some of my other videos. I won't pull it all the way out, but it's a very like synthetic nylon kind of material. It's super small and it still works also when it's wet. So when you're going in the rain, that kind of stuff's pretty important. So that's just like warm and sleeping. This is the Chill Gorilla tarp that I'm borrowing from my wife. It's for her hammock, but it's a 10 by 10 tarp. And there's a quick deploy ridgeline already in the top of the bag. So that could be the whole thing. Depending on what room I'm going to have, I have 2 of these Wild Venture tarps, and they're also 10 by 10, and they have the stakes, like more than enough stakes in. They've got the regular kind and the fat kind and guy lines for it too. So if I can possibly do it, I'm going to take all 3 of these tarps, just because we may want to put up a tarp for wood, we may want to put up a temporary shelter, maybe do base camp. Like we want to be pretty comfortable. So 3 tarps is in place of a tent. Like I'm not carrying a tent. I don't carry a hammock or anything like that. And then if it comes to it, I'd like to make a shelter out there, but we don't really have any plans. I'm going with 2 other people, so we'll see what happens. But I'm prepared nonetheless. I may only take 2 of the tarps. I might bail and only take 1. I don't know. And then for a while we're in camp, I have a raggedy pair of sandals that I always wear around Florida. So I'll wear these with the wool socks. Now we don't have to put the boots on and off and all that. And then also if I need to dry my boots out, that's what I'll be wearing. So that's pretty much my loadout. The only other thing I have is my coat. I've showed this up before. It's 2 layers. One is a puffy coat, and the other one is like your traditional kind of. It's a little heavier than a jacket, but not quite a coat. So I can take these apart and wear just 1 layer at a time. But for traveling, I zip them together because it's a lot more convenient to carry them that way. So how I'm going to pack my bag up will be a mystery. I tend to just jam stuff in there. So most of the sleeping stuff is going to go in my bottom compartment, and then everything else just kind of stuffs in. It all fits usually pretty good. The other thing I don't have on this video is I have my Nalgene and my sports bottle. Both of those will be going inside the bag because, again, I can't put them in the pockets outside. But those are my water containers. So it's probably way more than enough for what I need, but hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun. I mean, 2 of my friends out there, Luke and Cody. I've been camping with Cody before. It was a trail hike camp, but it was more of a, traditional style. And I've been camping with Luke once on the river. It was kind of car camping. You couldn't get there without a truck, and it was in the middle of nowhere, but we've never been out like bushcrafting. And here we're gonna try to make some stuff. We're gonna try to set up a base camp and like do some really cool stuff. So hopefully I've got enough to go with their gear to keep us all comfortable. And by the time you see this, I'll already be out in the woods. So yeah, if you like the stuff on the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe.